Welcome back to a brand new episode of Gen Z BTC. It's me, Satoshi Guapamoto. And today we're going to go over the long-awaited Bitcoin is an intelligence test video, okay? I've already made the video talking about how Bitcoin is an ego test, but let's not sit here and pretend that it's not also a test of wits, all right? So I'm going to break this down 5 reasons why Bitcoin is a test of your intelligence. Number 1, adaptability and problem solving, all right? Intelligence is first off really hard to define. Okay, really makes someone smart, makes them intelligent. And I've broken it down just in a couple of these bullet points. And the first one is being able to adapt to problems and solve problems. Okay, dumb people really aren't amazing at solving problems. Okay, they only know how to make them. And then once those problems arise in their lives, they're only good at pointing the finger at other people, right? Pushing the blame on the other people, or just sitting there waiting for directions. Hey, what do? I burned all my food. My house is burning down. What do I do now? You know, they're waiting for someone to tell them what to do. Intelligent people are able to adapt to a situation and problem solve. So if you have the problem, right, of your money being inflated away, if you have the problem of watching Bitcoiners get richer than you while you keep getting poorer because you're in a system that robs you, right? If you have that problem where you're leaking economic energy daily, then the easiest problem to solve, right, is to just buy Bitcoin. You know, the easiest way to adapt is just to buy the asset that's been appreciating faster than all the other assets throughout all of history. That's like the easy fix, you know? So when that's right in front of your face, part of that is the ego, but another part of that is just being smart enough to realize, oh, wait, this thing isn't going away. Maybe I should just learn about it, right? Okay. And that leads me into my second point, curiosity and a love of learning. Okay. Intelligent people are curious. Okay. They are constantly questioning things. They don't just take everything for granted, right? Don't get me wrong. You can't question actually everything because then you just turn into a paranoid skeptic. You'll just drive yourself crazy. You end up becoming a tweaker that doesn't go outside because the sun is radioactive and it's killing you or whatever. But if you are at least curious, if you want to learn about things, you know, you're not an instant shut-in when it comes to someone talking to you about an idea that you've never heard of, right? When people mention the idea of Bitcoin to you and talk about how it's a serious asset, your first instinct is not to fight that or to push that, okay? Because, you know, first off, you don't even have a stake in the fiat network. Most people don't. Yet you double down on trying to defend that like it's your job. You know, that's like the mark of a stupid person, right? So you should at least be curious and hear people out, especially when you're seeing their results, okay? Life is about results. Look at their results. Now you might want to ask some questions. Okay, these are not just a bunch of random people living in their mom's basement, like me, who are just getting richer, right? It's turned into a financialized product that companies are utilizing in order to become number one in the S&P 500. Okay, so let's be real with ourselves. You have to love learning. This is the really hard part. A lot of people hate learning. All right, and that's why Bitcoin is so tough for people because it's boring. All right, like it takes work to understand Bitcoin. It takes proof of work to understand Bitcoin. And because of that, because it's not nerfed, right? Because it's not someone just handing it to you on a silver platter and just feeding it to you, spoon feeding it to you. This channel is as close as you're going to get to spoon feeding. Okay, like I'm not breaking down super complex concepts here. We're not going over charts and doing technical analysis and going over 10Ks and 8Ks and F13 filings and all the special stuff. I'm just a guy in his mom's basement wearing a Santa hat and a bunch of Bitcoin merch off Etsy trying to break this stuff down in the most simple way. This is Gen Z BTC. Okay, this is not the Financial Times. All right, like, I don't know, man. You know, you just have to be willing to do a little bit of research. And watching every video on this channel is research. Now, I would advise that you do more than that. Like read some Bitcoin books, read some op-eds, right? Read some papers from financial institutions as well. Read some anti-Bitcoin papers, okay? And then from there, try to understand why all their arguments fall short. You know, find the holes in the arguments. You know, so it takes a little bit of work, man. That's the problem with Bitcoin. It takes work. Number 3, emotional intelligence. All right, you need some EQ. All right, you need to be able to empathize with others. Right, you need to be able to be a good communicator. Right, if you're going to pitch Bitcoin to people, help them to understand it. Right, but emotional intelligence also relates to how you react emotionally to price action. All right. When it comes to the volatility of Bitcoin, you're either going to get spooked by that because your risk tolerance, like you're just like a risk adverse person and it's not going to work for you for whatever reason. But when you zoom out, you realize, and especially when you look on a log scale, Bitcoin is not volatile to the downside. It's volatile to the upside. Okay. And you're also realizing that the stick that you're measuring Bitcoin in is what's really volatile. Bitcoin is volatile when denominated in a infinite currency, right? Like dollars. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin is not the thing that's volatile. It's the people and it's the currency that they're using, like the dollar, that's truly volatile, right? So emotional intelligence helps you to stomach the volatility better. It doesn't make you act on impulse very quickly. It makes you a better listener. All right. It means that you can understand concepts better. You can relay concepts better, right? All of these are hallmarks of intelligence, and Bitcoin tests your intelligence in this way. Number 4, self-awareness, right? So when it comes to being an intelligent person, right, self-awareness is very important. Now, we can get stuck in a trap of hyper self-awareness where we're super self-aware of everything, and then this develops into insecurity and anxiety, right? So we have to try to limit that. Okay, that's a little bit of a life lesson inside of the intelligence lesson. But most importantly here is understanding that if you're on a fiat system, this kind of goes back to number 1 with the solving a problem. If you have no self-awareness, then that means that you're just going to keep saying stupid things like, oh, Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. Bitcoin is going to go to zero. Bitcoin is a bubble. Bitcoin is bad for the earth. It's bad for people. It's evil, you know? And then when people ask you, well, why is that? You know, you're going to sit there and just look dumb because you have no real argument, right? But you still feel like you're doing a good service or like you're beating these people in like some sort of debate or whatever you think is going on in your head. But you lack the self-awareness to realize that in real life, people that you might know are getting way ahead of you, right? And it's just because their money is just better than your money, right? Like if someone's working for Argentine pesos and there's another person doing the same job, but they just work for dollars, right? The person who's working for dollars is going to have more money than the Argentine peso guy. He's going to have more purchasing power than the other guy because his money's just better. His money is just better. Okay, like it's that simple, right? So are you self-aware enough to realize what's happening in your own life in the system that you're caught up in, right? Where you feel like you're on this hamster wheel and you're running harder, faster, but you're not getting anywhere. You know, that's because you're being robbed. You're literally getting stolen from daily, right? By people who you didn't elect, by the way. Okay, Federal Reserve bankers and all these warmongers who want to spend all this money to send people to foreign countries, to send money to foreign countries, to fund projects that are not at all conducive of anything positive in your life. But they don't have to consult you because they were never elected anyway, so you don't matter. It's whatever. You know, you're just a pleb. Why are you even questioning me? You know, that's the arrogance that they have. Why are you even questioning my decision to send 50 billion over here and another 50 billion over here while you're working on the verge of homelessness? You know what I mean? Like, that sounds like a you problem, buddy. You know, so how about you be quiet with what I do with your money? That's what they say. That's what they literally say about you. So that's insane. You know, so have some self-awareness, question the system, go back to the curiosity, question the system that you're in, realize what's happening, right? And then take that leap where you understand, oh, inflation is time theft, right? And then you start getting down this Bitcoin rabbit hole and you start understanding the system that you're in better. There's literally a famous quote. If people understood the banking system in America, there would be a revolution by tomorrow morning. That's facts, you know, and the revolution is happening. It's just happening day by day. It's happening very slowly. It's happening one Bitcoiner at a time. And then finally, number 5, okay, acting your best self-interest, okay? This is a mark of intelligence, all right? Like if you walk onto a ledge, right, and you see a big, giant cliff, okay, a big fall, that'd be very detrimental to your health. And you say, I don't know. I think I'm going to keep walking. And you fall off. You're dead. That's something that a dumb person would do because they don't understand the danger that's presented at a cliff. Okay, so if you can't act in your own best self-interest, okay, if you can't act in your own self-interest, then you're not smart. You're actually super dumb. Now, this doesn't mean that we have no empathy and that we're just super greedy all the time. Okay, you don't have to take this to its extreme. But understand, if you cannot act in your own self-interest, you are dumb. All right. Facts. Dumb people act against their best self-interest. Okay. They know that, oh, well, I have to do work tomorrow and I have a lot of responsibilities I have to take care of and I have a lot of this and that. But you know what? I'm going to get super hammered, bro. I'm going to go on a bender, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, are you serious? You know, then you miss work or anything comes up and you're like, you know what? I'm going to get really mad. I'm going to crash out, bro. I'm going to crash out, bro. I'm going to do it for the vine. Like, you're insane. Like, you're a stupid person. Like a lot of the bad consequences in your life, you bring onto yourself because you are dumb. Like, oh, I know this person's really toxic and they treat me really bad and they don't really care about me or whatever it might be. But you know what? I think they belong in my life. I think they deserve more of my time. Like, you're actually just stupid. There is no other, we can go a little bit deeper and be like, oh no, it's trauma. It's like how I was raised, blah, blah. You can keep pointing the finger, whatever. You're just dumb. You know what I mean? Like, dumb people act in the opposite of their best self-interest. Smart people act in their best interest, right? They don't try to push good things away from them. They try to attract good things to themselves by doing work, okay? You can't just sit here and be like, oh, I'm going to manifest it. Please. I'm going to buy some rocks. I'm going to buy some crystals. I'm going to burn some sage. Like, little bro, sit down somewhere, okay? Let's just be real with ourselves, all right? Let's just be real with ourselves. There is work needed on your part, okay? Again, that's why people don't like Bitcoin. There is work needed. There is work needed. There is proof of work needed. And acting in your own best self-interest is owning an asset that doesn't steal from you. It's an asset that actually gives to you, that increases your purchasing power over time. Okay? That's what Bitcoin does. So the people who own Bitcoin, right, they're acting in their own best self-interest. They're acting in the self-interest of their families, okay? Their friends, their future children, all right? The future generation. That's what they're investing in when they invest in Bitcoin. All right. And to me, that's the sign of intelligence. That is the mark of intelligence. If you disagree with me, why don't you tell me about it in the comment section? Let's have a discussion. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Gen Z BTC. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Share it with someone who you think might also enjoy this. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Stack sats or die trying.